Morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. What is today? Today is Saturday, December 23rd, 2023, and it is 8:35 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 11:35 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Welcome to Standard Time. I got myself some tea. Oh shit! You know what? We better go get me a spoon. I left myself out of the concept of a teaspoon. My nose is running because it's cold outside. There we go. Yep. As we take a long rest, get this love before you go. I'd like to know, was it ever true? I've got to know. I can take one less burden. This song was also recorded by the Doobie Brothers. I'm not sure who wrote it. Then I've got to know. Was it ever true? Not like before. We were lost in a world. Never slow down. Long enough to get through. Yeah, there's a demonstration of Jeff's record flipping service. My record flipping service is very good. Provide excellent record flipping. If you ever need a record flipper. So we're just let's see. I am not just fucking around, and I'm not even sure necessarily how long I plan to do this, but I wanted to come on. I was walking around. I've been walking around in the fog and being awake and cold and alive. But it occurred to me, incidentally, it occurred to me that being cold and alive is better than being cold and dead. So I'm feeling like, cold and alive isn't that bad. Cold and alive isn't that bad. Kind of like being cold a bit. But remember, just because we can be cold and alive doesn't mean that we should be cold and alive. We deserve to be warm and in comfort and in safety with humanity. And when I say we, I mean all of us. I mean all the human beings, the old ones that look like me, and the young ones that look like Sam Lee. Good morning, Sam Lee, and everybody. Humans deserve to live in peace and safety. Humans deserve work that respects their humanity. Humans deserve income that is commensurate with their effort and that allows them to live a quality of life beyond subsistence. You hear the birds outside, can't you? I suppose. I hope. Hey, Polly Prissy Pants. Well, hey, good looking. Hey, good looking. What you got cooking? How about cooking something up with me? That's like a Saturday morning thing. So I've been outside. I've been outside getting cold for a few hours now. And I'm not tired of it yet. It's 8:40, which is actually it's 8:40 Pacific time, which if you do the math is twice 4:20. So there you go. It's twice 4:20, twice 4:20. Congratulations. So the theme of the show that I put up was what if our friend Pedro Santiago could save the world or the human race? What if you, Sam Lee, could save the human race? And here's spoiler alert: you can. See, all Pedro has to do to turn this ship around for Pedro DoorDash Santiago is awaken. Is awaken. Awaken to something more than his ego, to something more than his drive for money and success, because those are empty. Pedro is searching where there's nothing to find. Pedro is a lost soul. So Pedro, I want to make peace with you, and I'm saying this genuinely. Why don't you come on the show with me anytime this weekend? Anytime you want, we'll just go on and talk. You can broadcast it on whatever channel you want or not, or you can just be on my channel or whatever. But we'll just talk. We're going to talk about consciousness. We're going to talk about what Eckhart Tolle uh, or Eckhart Tolle, however you like to pronounce it. I posted a video on my community post today about awareness and awakening and human consciousness, and that's what it's about. That's why I get mad at you, Pedro, is because you're acting insane. And what is insane? Insane is not an indictment upon your mental health. Insane means that you're acting in a way that is not rational, that is literally insane because it doesn't comport with reality. It doesn't comport with truth and transparency. And so of course you're lost, Pedro. We're all lost. Of course you're lost, Pedro. We're all lost. But you don't have to be lost, Pedro. Do you know that you could use your platform to be a fucking hero to humanity, Pedro Santiago? We can be best fucking friends. You want to be best fucking friends? I'll fly to San Francisco with you and we'll go beat up Eli together. We'll go beat up Eli together. Boom, 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 boom. I got real big fists. You don't want to get hit by them big fists. Uh, anyway, that's the concept, Pedro. You don't see. People think I hate Pedro. I don't hate Pedro. I look at Pedro and I see a lost soul. I see somebody scrambling to get to the top of the dung heap. Don't go to the top of the dung heap, Pedro. Go to the top of the real heap. Be a good human being. Be honest. Bring your fellow human beings along with you without charging them money for the privilege. I'll come visit you. I'll come visit you, Polly Prissy Pants. There's no doubt about it. I will happily come visit you. I ain't gonna fight you on the nature trail though. Maybe I will. Maybe I'll wrestle you. We're gonna do better than the Cheesecake Factory. We're gonna do better than the Cheesecake Factory. We'll go to an independent place after we put the Cheesecake Factory corporation out of business. We'll go to the we'll go to a real independent restaurant after all these dog shit corporations get the fuck out of our country. Or get we don't even need a country. Just get tell them to get the fuck off our earth. Their corporations are not human. Corporations, remember, corporations, my new concept, and it's very poisonous. I'm very good at poisonous concepts for the people. Uh, you, corporations are just qualified immunity for oligarchs. Corporations are qualified immunity for oligarchs to smoke and kill you in any way, shape, or form they want without any consequences. Just the cost of doing business. Your death is literally calculated into their financial projections. Do you know that? Your death, the number of drivers that are going to die, that's figured in. They know that. They know the number of people they're going to die on their watch. They don't care. They don't even know you. That was the beauty of creating this corporate AI monstrosity. Is this totally anti-human? It's the ultimate realization of the corporate terrorist. It's a monster. It's undead, never alive. Corporations are just a tax structure, a legal structure that protects oligarchs and kings and billionaires from any legal consequences of destroying you, lying to you, misrepresenting truth and transparency, misrepresenting language, calling you things you aren't, calling you independent when you aren't, telling you that something is work when it's not, calling app slavery work, having the audacity to present a world to you that is a narrative that suits the human mind, a narrative of you as some independent driver or actor in the community, a narrative of you as somebody in charge of their own life who has flexibility. That's all a lie. Humans to corporate AI and corporations, software in a shell. Humans don't mean anything. You're an asset for asshats. And yes, is it better to be cold and alive than cold and dead? No, I'm here to tell you it is. It's better to be cold and alive than cold and dead. But isn't it better to be warm? Isn't it better to be housed and warm and safe than cold and alive? See, whatever the problem is, they're making us complicit and satisfied with having most of humanity cold and alive. As long as maybe we're a little bit warm still, the rest of humanity can be cold and alive. They can be people without states, without homes. Can you imagine being a human being that can't just stand there and breathe without somebody telling you you're in the wrong place and you're illegal? Let's look at what some of you guys are saying. I started off all just getting all uh, talking to you. I don't have my glasses out here. Let's see. Yeah, putting poison in the food. There is poison in the food. The food is poison. They sold us poison food to begin with. And again, we don't even have a money supply anymore. You can't make money where there's no money to make. The corporations took it all. They took it all. And gig apps have you capped and throttled. So it doesn't matter. You could be the most ambitious person in the world, and without cheating and perpetrating your own frauds, you're not going to make any more than a few bucks an hour minus your expenses and risk, which equals basically nothing. Because all it takes in business is about risk reward. All it takes in this business is one injury or one accident or one downtime. You just lost everything because you'll never, ever, ever get your head above water. And everybody roundly, unless your name is Trevor's Deliveries or Mushy Moo or something, and you just make shit up for a living, unless you're the rideshare guy and you literally work for Uber and Harry Campbell, this is an abomination what's going on right now. There is no good Christmas season. There's no good any season. See, there's no seasonality in gig apps. They have more drivers than they need. You are the resource. You are the asset. They've got more assets than they need. You're not a human being. You have no institutional value. You don't. Your experience is not a net plus to them. It's a negative. They already acquired you and used you for the best part of your life span as an asset for asshats. And now they want you gone. They want you to quit. That's why they're shitifying this thing down to nothing. You think they don't know they're making this unsurvivable? Of course they're making it unsurvivable. It's much easier to make you fire yourself than to go through the process of firing all of you and getting rid of you and disposing you in favor of AI. They're going to make it your fault. Well, we would have offered you app slave work, but you all didn't want to do it, so we're just going to give it over to AI. It's your fault. It's your fault. We offered you the deal. Now we're just going to do it ourselves. You're just working yourself out. There's no way out. This is the thing. This is the thing that Pedro, come on and be a hero for humanity. Pedro, you can use your platform to shut these fuckers down. You could be a hero instead of a goat, Pedro. You ain't the goat of nothing. You don't want to be the greatest of all time app slave. You don't want to be a goat app slave, Pedro. That's a bad fucking deal. Why don't you come on here, Pedro? Be a fucking hero for humanity and get on the right side. Everybody will be cheering for you. You'll be the fucking redemption king, Pedro. Fucking turn on those bastards. Divorce DoorDash. Let's get rid of that corporate bastard. Good morning, Dash and Felon. Good morning, Dash and Felon. Pedro, it's time for Pedro to get on the right side of the world, Dash and Felon. We're going to flip Pedro over to humanity. We're going to show Pedro that he could be part of a community that loves him. He can be a fucking hero for society. He's coming back from his Florida vacation with his baby mama and everything, and Pedro wants to get involved with reviewing people, and he wants to get involved with Lewis Rossman. And Pedro's so funny. Pedro thinks everything's a fucking penis measuring contest. Everything's a testicular contest. He goes, well, Lewis Rossman isn't gonna respond to me. He's got a million viewers or something. He won't care about me. I'm just a peon with 70,000. Pedro, it's not all a dick measuring contest. You're a human being. Stop putting yourself down. Pedro, you're worth more than your dog shit YouTube channel. You may not know that, Pedro, but you are. Maybe, I mean, here's the thing, Pedro. As much as I laugh at you, you are a leader. That's the fucking shame of it. You could be a good leader instead of a dog shit leader, Pedro. You could lead the people to freedom instead of into app slavery. I see you waking up. You know this is all dog shit. Take it all back, man. You got kids. You want the world to go on, don't you, Pedro? Come on the show and get right with the world. Let's talk about consciousness. I'm not gonna call you names or anything. I'm ready for you. You just come on. We'll just add you right into the show, or I'll do it later today if you like. Hmm. Now, see, I was got myself some tea because it's cold out here. Yeah, well, no, Pedro may love dog shit, but there's always a day to change. Every day is a good day to change. Oh. Yeah, yeah. See, that's the thing. I can talk to Pedro about that, though. I want to talk to Pedro about his problem with humanity, why he's so angry, why Pedro is so angry at people. And because it's all Pedro takes it personally. For Pedro, it's all an ego contest. And it's not. That's not life, Pedro. You're screwing it up, son. You're screwing it up real bad. And you're a father. You got to do better. You got to do better. Fuck DoorDash and everything else. Just be a better father. Come on and talk to me. What are you up to, Dash and Felon? Hey, Dash and Felon, you want to come on the show? I never talked to you before. Okay, now where are we? This ain't no. I ain't gonna test you. Let's see here. How do I? Am I incompetent? Let's see. I'm trying to add. I want to add you. Add guest. Send link to guest. Oh, no, no, I don't want to put you in timeout, son. Trying to add you. Uh. Oh man, this shouldn't be this difficult. How do I type a message? Oh, I'm gonna add you 1 second. Don't worry about it, Dash and Felon. You wake up for a second. I'll add you in a minute. All right. Well, you relax, and then I'll add you in a couple minutes. I don't know. It don't matter. Well, let's go in. Hold on one second. I'm gonna go in. I'm gonna take you in the house since we got a good audience here. We'll keep it going. I'm gonna take you in the house. I gotta plug my phone in anyway. God dang it. We're gonna have to get warm for a minute. Oh dang it. All right. Going downstairs into my studio. Oh man. Now it's all warm in here. All toasty warm in here. Figure out what I'm doing, maybe. Maybe I'm too cold to figure out what I'm doing. Is that my problem? My brain's a little frozen. Could be. We'll see. I need a number of things, including the Kleenex now because my nose is running. Let's see here. Plug you in. Don't run out of power here. Which is just a fabulous tour of my morning. I know you must all be enjoying it. See, I got to turn off the heat here. It's gonna be too warm now. Can't have it be too warm. All right, I'm good. All right. All right, here he is. Thank you guys for sticking through me through this fabulously, what I hope is a fabulously entertaining transition. Fabulously entertaining, I am sure. Wait, I'm only having just a couple small issues here with my power cord. I don't usually do shows on the phone here, but like I said, I was outside doing my outside stuff and being cold, and this is not my best angle. Hold on. Let's see. You know what? You know what? We're getting there. We're getting there. This is good news. This is good news for us. We could do this. Maybe Dashing Felon. Maybe our friend Dashing Felon will be awake. Maybe Dashing Felon. Maybe your friend Dashing Felon will be. There we go. We don't need that happening to us. Trying to get you a link, Dashing Felon, son, my friend. Let's see here, man. Sorry, the computer. Now the computer's waking up. Technology is really making our life better. Of course. No, sweet jeepers. Look at me keeping the language family friendly so far today. That's only by mistake, I assure you. No, 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 no. This is me, man. This is all me doing things a different way. There you go, buddy. Um this is because for whatever reason, I don't broadcast like this very often, so I wanted to add you in a different way. So hold on. There you go. I added you. I added you. This is gonna work. This is gonna work. Let's see. Look at this. And yeah, you don't have to show your face if you don't want to. You just make me look good with your handsome voice.
How you doing?
Oh, look at that handsome man.
Wearing my
How you doing?
glasses
How
right
you
now.
doing, brother?
I'm doing well.
Okay,
Doing well.
let
Oh,
me get
sorry.
this let
Excuse
me
me.
get this shit set up so that we look so that I'm comfortable. I need to be
Yeah,
comfortable.
I need to make sure I don't put anything non-family friendly in front of the camera.
Well, that's okay. This ain't a monetized show, thank God,
Oh,
because
okay.
every I'm not monetized, but every day they take pride in sending me a message telling me if my show was to be monetized, that it would not be monetized. So that's not the best incentive to me to ever consider monetization, since
That's
every day
great.
they remind me that I will not be monetized. So there's that. There's that.
Uh, all right.
Uh,
Well, at least you still get your name out there, and you get to have the shows and stuff.
yeah, my name's out there enough for the rest of my life, son. We don't need my name
Exactly.
out there anymore. I just want to see. I just want to see you live. My name's out there in way too many places. It shouldn't be out there already.
Uh, How's
Uh,
your morning going? Or
it's good.
afternoon?
It's good. I just came in from the cold. It's very cold and foggy, but I like cold and foggy.
It's
Uh,
sunny as hell today where I
oh
live.
wow, look at that. Now let's see.
Yeah,
You are
it's been
in
raining the last couple days, but
where where are you at?
Southern California, a
Oh
little north
wow,
of LA in the suburbs.
perpetual summer.
Yeah, exactly. We get like a couple days of rain, and then that's our winter.
Wow. Yeah, I remember being down there as a kid. In my entire youth, we only really went on a couple vacations. One of them, I think, I don't know, maybe 15 or 16 or something. We made it down to Disneyland for New Year's, and I remember how it was like 100 degrees.
Yeah, it's crazy how and like sometimes it'll like rain and like get cold in this like in like weird times of the year, but like in the summer it'll be like 90 degrees, like you're saying. So yeah, I mean in the winter, it'll be like 90 degrees like most of the days.
Yeah,
It's
you
just
got. It looked like you got play set back there. You got little critters at home.
well, I stay with my family right now, and
No,
I have a younger sister and two younger siblings. So
nice,
yeah, ever
nice,
since I got out of prison, I've been staying with them. So
nice.
yeah.
And how long were you inside?
5 years, a little like a couple days under 5 years, pretty much.
And when'd you get out?
I got out June 21st of 2022.
Nice.
So, and I've been off parole since June 21st of this year. So it's been great.
Hallelujah, free man.
Yeah, so like that's one thing these apps have done, like I can't really like say they're all bad, all good, they freed me from the chains that I was in.
Let's talk about that though. So did they or didn't they? They freed you from one set of chains and put you in another. Uh,
Tried to.
Now that's intentional, of course,
Yeah.
because the apps were created for untrackable, low class. That's us.
Mhm.
So that they could use us and dispose of us and nobody would care. Now, because of that, the what they call the friction, the price of admission, the entry, there's no barrier to entry, right? It means anybody, not only if you have a valid ID, but even if you're, let's say, don't have the legal right to work, or let's say that you have a history that is, for whatever reason, um, socially, legally, or otherwise. And let's remember too, I'm not, look, question your past here, but everybody that has been to prison or done crime and stuff is not an awful person. And America has the highest incarcerated population in the world, and I believe it's 73% have yet to be convicted of a crime. So people want to be very judgmental of people that have been incarcerated for any reason, and they have.
Yeah.
It's a very selective system. right? People that are incarcerated are people of the criminal class.
Exactly, and that's how you're gonna be viewed for the rest of your life. Like it's like there's no middle ground. No, there's no. In most people's minds, it's one or the other. You know, so that's why I embraced it, and I called myself the dashing felon. And and I just try and
Right.
give back a little bit. You know.
People don't know that in many parts of this country, you probably can't even find housing. I know you. I know where I live. That I know in many places in Oregon, you wouldn't be able to get housing,
Yeah, like
even if you had the
especially
money.
while I was on
If
parole.
you had the rent and 2 months deposit, you would not be able to get housing.
Yeah, because like most people can go rent a room from someone or rent like, or whatever, and like, but keep in mind for a whole first year I was like out, I could have a parole officer or a cop show up for a
That's
search
right.
at any time. So I would have to explain that to my landlord or
Well,
my,
and
and like,
a lot of
and
people end up back in prison because of parole violations, yet they're,
exactly.
it's a system, like many of the systems for the lower class, that's set up to fail. They want you back in prison, there's no doubt about it.
Hmm.
So if you escape their system, through your own freedom of getting through probation, man, you've done something special. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you, man. I haven't been off of like a government supervision since like I was like 16 when I got caught with my first like little bit of weed I had or whatever. And I had been on probation, like on the whole rigmarole cycle constantly, and this is the
See,
first
and
time I've been a free man since,
that
like then.
that's what a lot of people don't understand, is that people caught in the system are often caught in the system for virtually nothing, or for something that 99% of the population also does.
Exactly.
It's a matter of who they want in the system, who they want to prosecute. Do you have the private resources for good legal representation, or are you going to be sold out into the system by court appointed counsel? And
Yeah, exactly.
here in Oregon, by the way, great news. We have the highest family homelessness rate in the nation, and we're second behind California on individual homeless rate. So we're number
Wow.
one for families, number two for individuals. Congratulations, Oregon.
That's
Uh,
crazy. You guys are so small too. That's is it per
oh,
capita or
we're yeah, we're not that small. We've never had a an economy outside of agriculture and fishing and timber,
I just
and
meant like
those
area wise.
things are
Like
all have all been falling apart for decades. So now
yeah.
you've got many or most small towns in Oregon where there's just no work. There's just no viable work. This is happening in many places of the country, and so app slavery is part of that, because they slid app slavery into the rural and suburban neighborhoods during this pandemic event, in places where it never would have been had it been for uh, quote normal market forces. But see, app slavery is just a game. App slavery is just a rigged game
Exactly.
that
It's a
they allow
game.
anybody to play, because it's the bottom of the barrel. We're laundered labor. So if somebody's a felon and couldn't get work elsewhere, well, as long as they don't violate whatever the driving requirements are for the deal, they can't do it. I'm curious, would you be allowed to do rideshare or no?
No, I haven't been
I
able to
would
get
think,
accepted for that. But most of my crimes have already fallen off
right.
because they're past the 7 year mark, and there's nothing like DUIs or
Well, look,
anything violent that would keep me like on like some list or something. It's like they were like white collar crime. So, but like the only thing I have was something that got dropped to a shoplifting that's still on my record. So like the rideshare and like some other companies are still using that against me, but
mhm.
after a couple years, that even that won't even show up on a background check for me. So pretty soon I'll look like I've never gone to prison or never been a criminal on a background check. It's just a matter of time because they go by the conviction date, not the.
What I I was turned down by most, and it took me weeks and weeks going back and forth with DoorDash during the pandemic because I had charges pending for 2 years for civil disobedience that couldn't be processed because the courts were shut down. And so I was basically when you pull and they as usual they threw 2.5 years of charges on me for peaceful civil disobedience. So when
Yeah,
you if you pulled up my record though, it showed all the charges, right? It didn't, and
yeah,
not
exactly.
convictions. So I'm writing DoorDash a letter going, by the way, I'm innocent until proven guilty, just so you know.
Yeah, exactly.
And all those charges were in fact dropped after the pandemic. But for basically 2 years, I was packing around a lot of criminal charges that made me look like
Like a
a real
civil disobedient
a real
person.
successful. I guess I am a successful criminal because I've never been convicted of anything. Anyway, so that's just something I think most people don't understand. There are some people in our community, like Stephen Arrow, who spent time behind bars. I spent time behind bars,
Mhm.
20 days in solitary confinement, maximum security with all
Oh
the
yeah,
and in a terrible county jail where people die. A lot of people die for a lot of
yeah,
different reasons. So, not a good place to be. Very, very informative. But it's interesting that people even hearing us talk about being behind bars, it's like something people don't want to talk about. It's like a dirty thing. They don't want to know what happens actually behind
yeah.
bars.
You said had to do time in the whole solitary confinement,
What
and so like I had to go to the hole. Get this right, and this is how fucked up it is in prison. If you're like an inmate, you have no rights, right? Like you
the
are nothing, right? Because
and in jail too.
your
In
word,
county jail,
your
it's the same.
yeah.
County
Exactly.
jail can
So,
be as
oh yeah,
bad or
that's what
worse
I
than prison.
exactly. Oh, I agree with you. That's what I meant to say. Jail and prison, right? So, because you're nothing, right, to these cops, right? So anything they say is that's the word, right? So they can say you said anything and throw
Mhm.
you in the hole for anything, right? I was in a hearing for a write up, a bullshit write up. It was like a refusal to go to work one day write up or something, right? And I was in the lieutenant's
Slavery.
office with me and the cop, the CO that wrote me up, and the lieutenant, and that's it, right? And I was just giving the cop a little bit of attitude, but I wasn't cussing, I wasn't swearing, I was just giving him attitude, right? And he said, "You know what? Tough up, right? You just threatened me, right?" And I was like, "What?"
Yeah.
I was like, "Yeah, you just threatened me right now." And they said, I said, lean forward and said, "Fuck you," and that's why they handcuffed me and sent me to the hole. And I was in the hole for like 3 weeks fighting it before they sent me to a higher level security place and yada yada because all like I had changed points and whatever. But anyways, yeah, it sucked, man. Like they can send you the hole over their word, and the other cop was just like, "Yep, I heard it,"
Oh
and
yeah,
that's
yeah.
the system.
I got tortured by police in that manner. I got picked off the street, kidnapped, and tortured. This was a
Yeah,
different time. Same thing. They just like shit, make shit up and just kidnap you. It's wild.
just
It's wild what they can get away.
wild. They can get away with it. They can
And
get away
this
with it
is
out
what,
here too. So be careful.
yeah. And so
That's why
this
you
is
should
what,
grab a camera every time a cop ever is acting like that. Yeah.
yeah. Well, and what we find now is that even though they're all packing body cams, they don't care. The same rules apply. They still got qualified immunity. They can still do whatever the fuck they want, and they can claim
Yep.
what you said to them wasn't captured by the camera, and what the camera saw isn't what really
And they
happened.
always go like that, covering the camera.
So, yeah, yeah. This
And
this
that's their like regular pose now. They just hold on to their vest like this all day. You know what
yeah,
I mean?
yeah. It's pretty pathetic. It
Yeah.
really is pathetic, and
But
anybody.
on app slavery, right? So to change it real quick to the topic, I think the way out of app slavery, or at least like not being so enslaved, is multi-apping. I would think you would agree, right?
No,
Meaning
it's
getting
not.
on
So
all
here's
the apps and
multi-apping
just
multi-apping plays right into their hands.
uh,
Multi-apping just fractionalizes us further so that they have no responsibility. The whole app slavery game is about fractionalizing us, and that's why DoorDash puts out the bullshit propaganda that, well, our average driver drives only, 10 and a half hours a week. That may or may not be true. There's no way to check any of these fuckers' claims. And I would
Yeah.
believe I would believe any criminal you met in prison before I'd believe Tony Shu, Derek Khosrowshahi, or
Oh
David
yeah.
Risher. Those fuckers never
See,
do anything but lie.
I don't
You got
view
you at
these
least got a
apps
percent
as
chance of hearing something true.
employers or anything, right? I don't view them as anything but a tool that I use to go look for gigs, and I used to use Craigslist like that, so it's like it feels the same exact way, and sometimes you got to play their game with the stats and shit, but
Right.
you
So
know,
this is the
nothing beats instant money if you can make it work for you.
so
And it's
this
all
but this
about
is the
working the
whole
system, though. I think a system can be worked if there's a system in place. That's my whole
Uh,
opinion on it.
so this is the old thing. We started the show. It's good to be cold and alive. It's better than cold and dead, but being warm and alive is better. And so
Uh-huh.
what happens is at the bottom of the barrel, we just end up being satisfied with what we're satisfied with. And so
Yeah.
they give us a dog shit system of slavery, and we're going, well, it's better than nothing. And listen, from your perspective and from mine. Look, how the fuck do you think a guy with a master's in business administration for Duke University and no criminal record uh, does 5,521 door dashes? Well, because I was fucking desperate and because I'm shut out of the fraud economy because I don't lie, cheat, and steal like most other corporate people. And
Mhm.
so I'm down here in the sewer with you. I know how it fucking works. I know why we're here. We're here because nobody else will fucking take us. Now,
Yeah.
that doesn't mean though. That doesn't mean that we should be working for 1 cent because 1 cent is greater than zero, or two
No.
cents because 2 cents is greater than one. Right? We have to demand enough money so that you don't have to be living with your extended family members unless you choose to, and you can have medical care, and you can have personal freedom to take time off, and you can have security and not be at the whim of however many dog shit applications are defrauding you at the moment and can all decapitate you either one at a time or all at the same time. You got no safety, right? This is no way to build a life. You're what am I going to take a wild fucking guess? You're 30 years old.
26.
All right, 26. Well, I got a son that's 28 and a daughter that's 22. So I understand you well, son. Uh, you need a future. This ain't no
Yeah.
future for
Oh,
anybody.
this isn't the future. This
No,
is
so you
a
got to get the
this is
fuck
a
out of it
means
because
to an end. This is an
what it
entry
is right
level
now is
job.
your imminent genocide. And see, because of labor laundering, because of this multi-apping game that you're playing, we don't exist. They're telling you, don't Tony Shu is lying to you that the average dasher does 10 and a half hours. Who the fuck knows what's true? That may be
Yeah.
true. It's
I
probably not true. It's almost
it's
certainly not true. Maybe he doesn't even fucking know. He may not even know because that's called labor laundering. But what they're telegraphing to you is what they want to be true, what they want the media to say. And what they want the media to say is, well, hell, if tell me your first name,
Nick.
Nick. If Nick loves this because Nick has the opportunity that we're giving him, and and uh, and what I'm sorry, I forget what lie I was on because I jumped to your name anyway. So when Tony Shu is lying, oh yeah, the 10. When Tony Shu is doing this, he wants people to go like, oh, so Nick is just kind of doing this. Nick's got other things going on. Nick is just part of 10 and a half hours. This isn't real serious because
Yeah.
as long as he minimizes DoorDash's time with you, nobody can go, well, yeah, but Nick should be an employee. They're going to go, oh, only 10 hours? Well, okay, sure then. Yeah, but that's not true.
I don't
That's
want to
not
be an
true.
employee.
The truth is they're monopolizing tens of hours per week of these people, monopolizing tens of hours a week with these people in their head,
Yeah.
on their phone, using their time for free, and they're
Y-
claiming, oh, it's just they're just fractionalizing it. So they're pushing off all the responsibility on you, and then they got a dog shit app. They claim they're in the logistic business. They got a dog shit app with dog shit customer service. They clearly don't care about their app
Yeah.
slaves, their consumers, or their restaurants. They're just fleecing humanity. Like kill the
Exactly. I don't really care
kill it with
what they
fire, not the
do.
people, the corporation.
Yeah, I don't really care what they do. I think that we should be making laws that like make them have to do certain things. New York fucked up with their law. They made no means for them to recoup the money.
But you can't.
Uh, right?
You can't.
Yes, you can. Prop 22
Nick,
worked,
Nick,
man. Everyone likes Prop 22 in
this is a rigged
California.
game. This is
Yeah,
a
it's a
rigged game.
rigged game, so you can rig it by helping pass laws.
You can't. You
Yeah,
can't. It's
see,
Grand
that's
Theft
the
Human.
mentality that makes it like that you're
You
never
tell
going to be
me
able to win. If you say you're never going to be able to win, you can never do anything to fix it. These apps aren't
kill
going
it,
nowhere.
kill it, kill it,
These
kill it,
apps
kill
aren't
it.
going
It's a
nowhere, man.
parasite. Kill it, Nick. You got to kill
It's
it.
an entry level job, man. It's an entry
No, it's
level
not.
job
It's
that
not a
pays
job at all.
well.
Nick, you give me legislation. I'll tell you how
It's
they'll
an,
break it. Go ahead. Go ahead. Give me legislation. I'll tell you how they'll break it.
I mean, Prop 22 has been around for a while. How they're going to break
Yeah.
that?
Well, they already broke it.
I mean,
They can deplatform anybody they want at will. They don't
yeah.
have to provide any truth or transparency. Nobody has any fucking idea. And California is a very, very small fraction of the world, and
I know, but
they
I'm saying that you guys
sacrificed a
should.
teeny bit in California, and it's not going
No, it's not. They're
anywhere
not
past that.
sacrificing anything. You're not hearing me, right? When they passed Prop 22, they were vehemently against the law until they passed in the law that they could put a service fee and pass on the
They
cost to the
wrote the law.
customer. There's
The
fucking
companies wrote
$4
22.
service fees on every order in California on DoorDash. Even if you have the Dash Pass, service fee right under taxes on every one. That's what pays for the Prop 22. So that's what they should be trying to do in other states. But New York passed something that did take from the companies, so they are losing there, and that's why base pay went down to $2 for everywhere else but California.
No.
So
No,
yeah, that's what happened.
this is all a rigged game. You're pretending it's an organic business. This is a
I'm
rigged
playing
game.
a game. I am playing a game for
You
money,
are,
but I am winning at the game. But
but that's not the point. The point isn't
no,
whether you.
I'm
The point isn't
using it.
whether you can
It's
win
a
for a very
job for
short
me right
term.
now, using all these apps, getting my catering apps lined up, and then using DoorDash and Walmart Spark and Roadie and stuff like that in between. And it's a job that I can make more in less time than most people do at their jobs, and I can go to school at the same time when I do that.
And what
So
city are you in again?
I'm not gonna say my
Oh,
city on
but
any
I mean,
live.
I'm sorry. What state? What
Southern
state?
California,
Southern
north of
California. I'm sorry.
LA, suburbs.
I was trying to think Southern Cal. Yeah, so Southern Cal does has a lot of unique things. If there was anywhere where a gig economy would ever be functional, it would be in Southern California.
Yeah,
So
of course.
you got the best chance, but you do have to realize the gig
Other
companies
places aren't
wrote
the same way. Yeah.
the hold on, let's not talk over each other. We got to take turns.
All
Uh,
right, I can get a water. I can hear you though.
okay. The gig economy in California is not representative of how it functions anywhere else in the world. This is this is called the loss leader, right? The fact that they wrote the law for California and then can kind of allow it to percolate as some kind of functionality for the rest of the world where this isn't taking on. It's a very small solution. So Nick, the goal isn't for you to have something for a few months till they dispose of you. The goal is for us to be alive and to survive the genocide that they're perpetrating against us. Because what's happening, because we are untracked labor around the world by the tens of millions, and
Yeah.
because the impact on our lives is minimized, they are exploiting the vast majority. So even Nick, this is the problem.
Hmm.
Even Nick, if you can personally be successful doing this,
Yeah.
it is a crime against humanity. So that would be
I
it's
suggest
equivalent.
anyone who
Let's not
isn't
talk over
making
each
money
other.
stop. Why would you keep doing something if it's not working for you? That's the
They
problem.
have people have no
That's the people that you
choices.
should be.
No,
No,
no, no.
these
They have
people
no
have no
choices.
choices. They have no choices but to go out there making $5 an hour and not like that's not money. That's you're spending more on gas than that. So
Right.
that
But
doesn't
they
make
do
any
it.
sense. They're not
They
making any money.
so
So
then
why would they keep doing it?
why
Then that's their
why are
problem because
99% of the people doing it then if it's that bad, Nick?
yeah, because
They got no
that's what I'm
alternatives.
wondering.
It's a trap. It's a trap. They have no alternatives. They're smart people. They're just as resourceful as you,
Yeah.
Nick. They just don't live
So
in
it
Southern
seems like
California.
no, it just seems like that this is the best option they have, right?
No, no. It's
If
the
that's the
only.
case.
No,
If that's
this
the
wasn't
case,
the best option I had either. It's the only option I had. You're confusing best option and only
mhm.
option. You're picking from the worst of
Oh,
humanity.
I have other options being a felon, so I know other people have other
But you're in
options.
Southern
So,
California, Nick. Southern California. You
Amazon's
got to,
everywhere. Go to your nearest
son,
Amazon
son.
warehouse. They're
You
hiring.
you ha- you're 26 years old and you spent 5 years behind bars. Let's not pretend you know what's
Yeah.
going on in the
No,
world,
I
son.
don't
You
know what's
don't.
going on.
You
I've been
don't
paying
know what's
attention to
going
what's going
on.
on in the world, though.
No, you're being a fool. You're being a fool to
Okay.
corporations.
I'm not. I'm not. I don't work for these corporations.
You're a slave to the corporations. You don't
No,
even
I
exist to
actually
these
run
corporations.
my own company.
No, this is not
Yes.
your own company. This is not.
Yes, it
This is
is.
not. Nick,
I'm taking in orders, and I take in offers from multiple platforms, and I
every
drive
offer is
for them,
fraud. How can
and I
you
track my
have
miles,
informed
and I
consent,
run everything. So
Nick? How can you have informed consent, Nick, if every offer is fraud? Answer me that. Every offer is fraud. They're
every offer is
withholding
not
material
fraud.
information.
Every offer is not fraud.
Yes, it is.
They give me enough information to make my
No,
decision.
it's an
Hmm.
unsolvable equation. You're incorrect. It is
They
literally
give me enough
technically an
information,
unsolvable equation that they're giving you.
and then that's my contract is what they send me. So I know they send me 24 plus. I know I'm gonna get $24 minimum, and if I send them that screenshot, I'm gonna get that. Know that
But that's
it
not it. That
happens.
doesn't make it a valid
So
contract. That just makes it
so
fraud where they gave you one bit of information that's true.
and they show me where I'm going, how long they think it's gonna take,
They
and uh,
Nick,
and
Nick,
that's
Nick,
usually
Nick,
way
Nick, Nick,
longer than
Nick,
what it takes.
Nick,
So
Nick. Engage your brain, son. You're playing a game.
yeah, we
They
are. Yeah,
control they
yeah,
control
exactly.
everything.
So
You were playing
I
Grand
utilize
Theft Human.
all
If you were
these
playing
apps.
Pokemon Go, you would have just as much say about what's happening in your world as you do here, which is none. It's an
It
illusion.
is scalable or expandable, Stephen Arrow, because I'm about to start making personal shopper stuff and putting it around town.
Well,
So
there you go.
it
But
is
see,
scalable and
that's a
expandable. So that's
business.
part of my business that I'm already doing,
No,
and I'm still going to do gig work at the same time. So how is that not a delivery business that utilizes gig apps to get gigs?
well,
How is that not that? I
gig
don't
apps are
care what
just
the gig apps
legalized
do.
fraud. Gig
I
apps are
don't
just
care
legalized
what the gig
fraud. You
apps
can
do.
mix fraud into a legitimate business.
If the
But
gig apps aren't working for you, stop working for them and get a
it's
job for somewhere else.
no, no.
Amazon,
Okay, so
some
Nick,
warehouse somewhere will pay you better than
let
that.
me ask you this, Nick. If you knew that the world was going to end in 2 years, would you spend your
Yeah,
time
if it's
enriching yourself?
canceled.
Would if I'm don't talk? Let's not talk
I'm
over each
talking to
other.
Sinful
Okay,
Toaster.
let's not do that either because I
All
can't
right.
talk while you talk. If you knew the world was going to end in 2 years, Dustin, uh, would you continue worrying about money and status and possessions, or would you do other things?
I mean, I don't really worry about money, status, and possessions that much. I DoorDash for the money I need for the little things that I need, and I spend most of the time with my family. So I think I'm getting a pretty enriched life still. So I don't know what you mean by that, but I don't think I would change anything if it
So
was. I would probably just
you
speed my. I'd probably just speed up the process. I'd probably try to get as much money as I can doing this. So I could take a time off and then go do something fun, and then do that over and over again until the world ends if it kept on working. But uh,
so you would do this for fun, even if there was no money in it. You would just keep dashing for fun. You'd love
no,
it.
do them for the money to go have
But the
fun with
money's
that
the money's
money.
worthless now. No, the money's worthless now.
You said the world was ending in 2 years.
Yeah, yeah.
Money wouldn't be worthless at that point.
There's a better than even chance that could happen,
Yeah, but
Nick. You're being unwise, and listen. I like you a lot. I think I want to compliment you on all the work that you're doing to get out there and put your face out there and love what you're doing, man. I'm rooting for you every second of the way. But I do
yeah,
want to tell you as we wrap this up, I'm super glad you came on the show, and we'll do it again.
yeah, yeah.
You're being
I ain't got no ill will toward you,
Oh no,
anyways.
no, no. That's
Any
not it.
either.
You're
You
allowed
know
to.
that, right?
We're allowed to disagree. We're allowed to
Yeah,
disagree. Listen,
exactly.
listen. That's not important. But let's also look at the reality of it, right? You're a 26-year-old guy who spent 5 years behind bars. You're still learning what's up, And
Yeah.
I'm giving you the heads up that what you think is happening is not really happening. That's number one. But it's going to take you time. It's a process. It would be ridiculous of me, Nick, to
Yeah.
expect you to be awakened to what's going on in this world
Can
at
I tell you what my
26 years
goal is?
at 26 years old with 5 years behind bars. But you're learning fast and you're a really smart guy. That's obvious. But
Mhm.
here's my plea to you. It's the same plea I started the show with. Is think of what you would want if the world depends upon you being a good person and looking out for your brothers and sisters around the globe, not just yourself in Southern California. That's what I want you to think about, brother.
Yeah,
Because let me tell you this, even if you want to be selfish, none of us is going to survive alone as an island. We're all going to survive together. We're not going to survive at all.
this is what I want to do with my life, right? I want to become a lawyer, and in California, you can do that as a felon as long as you can pass a test of moral turpitude, which is one of the reasons I made my YouTube. Eventually, I'm going to start posting me doing good deeds and stuff, and all this
There you
stuff,
go.
and so I'm gonna, anyways. Other than that, right? So it's going to take a long time for me to do that, right? So uh,
I hope
I'm
you get the time, brother.
uh,
That's all I
yeah.
want. That's why I do
So
this. I
no,
want
but
you to
it's
have
gonna
the
take.
time to do that.
So I'm gonna do online college for most of it, right? And I'm gonna do it while I do gig work, and that's what I'm gonna do. So I'm using these apps. They're not
Yeah.
using
And,
me. Like
right.
it's
And
like,
and
you see
nobody's
what I mean?
yes, but we're at the very end of a long game with these two. You realize this isn't going to go on for years. We're talking months. I want to give you two recommendations for your interest that you should check out. The Civil Rights Lawyer on YouTube, and Steve Leto,
Okay.
who's out of Michigan, lawyer Steve Leto, Lehto. I share their stuff. Those guys are both really, really interesting guys and really good lawyers. You should check both those guys out and watch every damn one. I watch every damn one of
Civil
their videos.
rights. What was the civil rights one? I got the
I think
Stephen
he's called the
Leto.
civil rights lawyer,
Okay.
and
I
then Steve Leto is Leto Law or Steve Leto. He's everywhere.
I plan on doing criminal defense because I realized how fucked up our criminal system is,
So unfair.
and
It's so unfair.
I
Well, that's the
really
thing. Look, here's my prediction. Like, you're only going to live to be a lawyer if the prison industrial complex falls. Because if it doesn't fall, we're going to have a terrible revolution. It has to. They're imprisoning too many people. We can't have this
yeah.
happen. It's
Hmm.
it's falling apart. This is like the gulags of if you study what people are actually behind bars for, you will be so horrified you won't be able to sleep at night.
You wouldn't believe me if I told you what I went to prison for 5 years for.
Oh,
All
I
five
totally.
of
I
my
would.
crimes, I mean, all of my crimes added together were under 950, and they were all nonviolent misdemeanors. I
Right,
mean,
and so like,
nonviolent, right?
why
And
would
so,
we?
like, they were thefts. They were thefts, but because they were fraud, instead of me stealing their money, they gave me felonies for each one, and they
Why
batched
would
him
we?
up. It's like
Why would we
ridiculous.
ever? Why would we ever throw a young man's life away for nonviolent crimes? Why would we
Yeah,
ever throw a young man's life away for 5 years for nonviolent crimes? There absolutely has to have been a better way to help you become a better person. So we failed.
I know
We
there's no
failed.
money
We
in
fucked
criminal
up.
defense, Stephen Arrow. I hope to make my I hope to just take some pro bono cases or become a public defender and then make my name known by being such a great litigator. Then I'll become the next Johnny Cochran or something like that.
Well,
You know?
you'll be better. You'll be if the world is around, you're going to be more honest than Johnny Cochran because we're going to
Yeah.
have a more honest political system. I'm absolutely convinced, my friend, that we are either going to evolve as a human race or we will perish. And if we
No, I
evolve and
believe
you're
it
still
too.
around, it's going to be a big win for everybody. Hey, Nick, thanks for coming on the
Hey,
show,
thanks
my
for
brother.
having me, man. Hey, thanks, Clutch Dad, for coming in. Thanks for everyone in the chat, Steven,
all
everything.
all all our love, brother. Keep it going, man. You're doing all the stuff. You can be the hero too, man. Keep it thinking. People are going to follow you. You're a smart, good looking guy. You got a lot to say.
Th-
Remember what you're doing all of it for.
Thanks, man. You're the best. You're the legend, man.
All right, love you, brother.
All right, later,
Later.
man.
Bye.
Bye.
Well, damn, that was all heartwarming. uh that was great. Look, this is a tough argument. This is a tough argument because with somebody like our friend Dashing Felon, here's somebody that has genuinely been helped by the gig apps. genuinely been helped. I was genuinely helped by the gig apps. Nobody else was going to give me money during the pandemic. It was the gig apps or nothing. I couldn't get hired by employment agencies for minimum wage. Nothing. Absolutely fucking nothing. So I get it. But remember, we can't stay in that state. That's an emergency state. It's an emergency state where anything is better than nothing. But if you stay in the state where anything's better than nothing, then you can always be picking between the lesser of two evils or the lesser of 10 evils, and choosing evil from a lesser evil is always a bad fucking idea. Choosing evil is always a bad fucking idea. It doesn't matter if it's lesser or more or whatever. If it's evil, it's still evil. Don't choose it. How about just not choosing evil? Let's just not choose evil. Oh, goodness gracious. Let's see if I can look at your comments up here for a minute. Yeah, that was a spirited conversation, and I love his passion about it. And if I would in his position, I would be passionate about it too. And in my position, I was passionate about it. Look, I was without the money to even stay housed during the pandemic. That's why I started dashing. Because if I didn't start dashing, I wasn't going to have a house to live in anymore. I was going to be living on the street. I didn't want to live on the street during the pandemic. I thought that was a bad fucking idea. Oh man. What are we doing here? Morning, Glitch Dash. You slip into the chat. You slippery fella. You slippery slipper. Hey, Sam Lee. You know, Sam Lee, you and I would have had this same debate. I mean, you being in California too, I think you and Nick have a lot in common in terms of just being guys so grateful for an opportunity to have some freedom that you're just all over it. And I get it, man. I get it. We're all fucking hungry. We're all fucking hungry. Good morning, Brad. Brad Nelson, nice to see you. Thank you for being here this morning. Polly, of course. Sinful. So I don't know what else is going on. What else is going on? So JP, this is a good idea. So JP, our friend JP, you know JP, this guy. Whoa. He sent me this text. Where's my glasses at? I'll find my glasses here. He sent me this text. It says the Decline Now movement has officially given up against acceptance rate slavery. Jeff Thomas Black. We are talking about the most important anti-Tony shoe group in Facebook in forever. You're welcome. So I am no longer familiar. I did go on the Facebook groups for DoorDash, but they were all so highly monitored. Like it was all basically company propaganda or stupidity. It was a real waste of time for the most part, with just basically new people coming on and asking the same questions over and over. But I guess the Decline Now group wrote this. What did they write? So they wrote, this is from Dave Levy, the admin. I don't know Dave. If your area sucks that bad, you have choices. One, only work Rush. Yeah, well, if Rush matters. Remember, even during Rush, DoorDash controls both the supply and demand for Dashers. So, I mean, Rush is going to have the DoorDash's fake game world market equilibrium, just like non-Rush is going to have the game world fake market equilibrium. They have more supply of app slaves than they need for the game. So there's nothing we can do to change the dynamics of the game because there's too many of us assets for the assets. We're the assets of assets, and there's too many of us. We can't win. The only way we can win is to take our ball and go home and not feed the parasite. Number two, switch zones. Okay. Number three, multi-app. Well, we know the problem with that is that it's just removing more and more of the responsibility of the apps for any given human being. It's just laundering labor further, which is exactly what BlackRock and Vanguard and State Street and all the other dog shit fraud apps are doing. Find something else profitable to do without destroying your vehicle. Well, there's a real good option. Number four, that's killing the apps. Look, the apps are nothing but fraud. They can be nothing but fraud. They are nothing but fraud. You can't make a game of Grand Theft Human into a legitimate endeavor. Never, know how, can't happen, won't happen, is impossible. These apps are corporate AI that was created to exploit and fleece humanity to an extent never even imagined previously by humanity. Thanks for that, JP. You can follow our friend JP over here. Where is he? JP and the beatbox machine. Put that in the chat. Good morning, time to wake up. Good morning, time to wake up. What do you say? Yeah, if voting actually mattered, they wouldn't let you do it. It don't matter. It doesn't matter. We don't even have a representative government. There is no party. Nobody with any money represents us. Boy, am I a hairy motherfucker. This is funny. I have never just gone full caveman me before, but I'm going full caveman for the apocalypse. We're just going for it. We're fucking going hard. We're gonna go hard. Go hard or go home. So this is just exclusive to YouTube. I didn't simulcast it on the what do you call it? The Twitter, the X. I still can't remember. Nobody's ever going to call it X. It's the dumbest, stupid name ever created by a stupid oligarch who made his money from South African blood diamonds or whatever. South African exploitation of humanity, South African apartheid. That's how Elon became the richest guy in the world. Isn't that fucking great? Who doesn't love money from apartheid? Who doesn't love blood diamond money from the legacy of slavery? Everybody loves it. God bless America. So, the question stands today. What if, Pedro, what if, Mr. Bet on you became a hero? What would happen? What would that mean to the world? You could do it, Pedro. You could do it, Pedro. Hold on. I'm trying to set something up here so I can get myself typing at the same time that I'm doing this other stuff. This is real stupid, I'm sure, but I don't care. It's that's GigTube for you. What if Pedro Santiago could be a hero? So let's put on for the show. I'm I'm updating the show post here because I want to add our friend Dashing Felon to it too, featuring Dashing Felon. Okay. What if Mr. Bet on You could save the human race? Scary thought, but worth considering. Scary thought, but worth considering. Could you do it, Pedro? Could you do it? I think you can do it. I actually think you will do it because we have to be saved, and if we're saved, it's going to be by you. So my theory is that it will be you. You'll do it. So democracy is two wolves and a lamb discussing what's for dinner. I've been doing gig apps on and off for 7 years, says Time to Wake Up. Historically, this week leading up to Christmas is always great week to make good money. I've made anywhere between 1,100 and 1,800 during this week. This year I made 200. Yeah, yeah, that's what we're hearing from everybody is that people are just struggling to get along. Yeah, now so the question isn't whether you would follow Pedro or whether anybody would follow Pedro. See, we each have to be our own leader. You're the leader too. It's not just Pedro, but Pedro has other people that listen to him. So if Pedro is his own leader, he's going to have an impact on humanity by awakening to what he is, to who he is, more than just an ego, more than just a collector of money and tattoos, more than just a baby daddy and a daddy, more than just a Pedro DoorDash Santiago. Pedro's an actual person. He's a human being. He's something much deeper and bigger, and he's ignoring that because he's not an awake person. You may be ignoring that because you're not awakened yet. That's okay. It's not a crime not to be awakened yet. It's a process. Good morning, Mary Poppins. Good morning, Mary Poppins. It's me looking real scruffy this morning, looking real shitty, I suppose. But that's okay. There's bigger problems in the world than how scruffy I look, unfortunately. Happy holidays to everybody. I was outside getting cold this morning, just enjoying the fog. In fact, I think it's absolutely possible that I'll go do it again. Thank you, Mary Poppins. You're very kind. I think we should go outside. Maybe I don't know. What did I want to show? I should show you my. Stephen Arrow says 510 is all I could squeeze out so far this week. Piss poor. I'm going out today and tomorrow, but darn, I've had better normal weeks. Yeah, see, this is the thing. There's an illusion going on here. In our illusion, in our narrative, it's the Christmas season. In the reality of corporate AI, it's nothing. It's December 23rd. They always have more than enough of us app slaves to cover the business. So it doesn't matter if it's Christmas season for us. It's not Christmas season in Grand Theft Human. There is no Christmas season in Grand Theft Human. Sinful Toaster says I was able to borrow sister's car and dash 12 hours and made 151 in 6 hours of active time. I didn't keep the mileage, but it was close to $1 a mile. I wouldn't run my sister's car into the grave. Yeah. Send you the screenshot. Mary Poppins said I did 600 on Uber, Grubhub, and Spark all together. So many people doing this work, oversaturated badly. Yeah. So look, here's the deal. There is no circumstance where the market will ever be unsaturated. The game's over already. The game's over. They're already converting to more and more artificial intelligence. And the market, whatever DoorDash tells you, the market is changing for them too, right? For app slaves. There's immigrants coming in. There are no rules. People have multiple accounts. Nobody knows. There is nobody on earth that actually knows the dynamics of what's going on in the black box AI of DoorDash or Uber or Lyft or Grubhub or any other of the other dog shit fraud apps that are destroying the economies of the world. And we know that they're destroying the economies of the world. But the people in charge of protecting us sold us out. They didn't protect us. They're either bad leaders or bad people. I'm going to sneeze. Excuse me. That was quite a sneeze. My goodness. Terrible. Sneezed my brains out. I can't remember what I was thinking anymore. I'm trying to go outside. I want to go back outside. So I'm trying to grab my power cord here. I want to be cold and alive. It reminds me I'm alive. Maybe that's why I like being outside and cold so much. It reminds me I'm alive. I am, in fact, not dead yet. Much to the dismay of the American government that's left, I'm sure. I hope. One would hope. One would hope I'm on the best lists of the worst people. If I'm not, they're truly not doing their job. And that's just shameful. Uh-oh. Look at this. Look at this. Look at what we got here. Oh, man. Now we got a criminal in the house. Who's this? Odin, what's going on? You want a drink? He doesn't just want a drink. He wants me to watch him drink. And he wants me to scratch his back while he does it. How is it, Odin? It's a thirsty cat. Odin the Thirsty. This is Odin the Thirsty. Are you thirsty? This critter. Unbelievable. This criminal. Are you a thirsty guy? All right. Wait a minute. Says let me down. All right, let's go back outside. You want to come outside with me, Odin? You want to follow me outside? You probably will. Hold on. This is got my nugs travel with me. We should have a conversation with Nugs, maybe. Come on, Odin. Horribly entertaining. That's how I spend my day. Well, that was exciting. So what's up? Let's see if I can see your messages on here. Chat viewing options. I don't know. Maybe I can't see the chat if I have the what do you call it? Oh no. Oh man. Listen, I left. This is how. Oh no, I didn't. I thought I'm left. I thought I left my lighter downstairs. I was gonna be all. I was gonna be like, "Oh man, there is no God." I left my lighter downstairs. God has forsaken me. Don't let that happen. Is it? Nope. It's 9:55, which is close enough to 4:20. See, here's the thing, right? This is emblematic of our American dystopia. Here is that what I'm doing right here. There are people rotting behind bars for fucking life for this shit, for that. They're rotting behind bars for life for having some weed. That's fucking absurd. And the absurd thing is that even when we fix it, even when we go, well, okay, then it's legal. We're not going to throw people's life away for it anymore. Like we're not going to let those people out. We ruined their lives. They got to stay slaves. They got to stay slaves. They broke our laws. You know what? I was watching a thing on slavery in America, which is really really good. I'll have to share it. But after in the 20s and 30s, they locked black people up in by the countless for alcohol, for possessing alcohol. So while all the white gangsters and mobsters were and the Kennedy family was making all their wealth bootlegging, they were enslaving the black people of the United States for having alcohol. The drug war was literally they literally created the drug war in the Nixon administration to imprison black people and to hold black people in terror. Prison slavery and slavery are the same thing. They have used the legal system against black people to imprison black people for the most absurd, ridiculous, nothing things. Much like our friend Nick, the dashing felon, just told us. They just wanted to throw Nick's life away. They just wanted Nick in prison for 5 years, and so they did it. He never hurt anybody. He wasn't a violent criminal. There was nothing that society was going to gain from putting Nick behind bars for 5 years and stunting that young man's life, stealing 5 years of his life. No, we're the criminals. We're the fucking criminals. We torture people. Our prisons are tortures. Our jails are tortures. 73% of the people behind bars in the United States haven't yet been convicted of a crime, and they're being tortured in solitary confinement, which is torture. They're being enslaved. They're working for $1 a day, which is slavery. They're working for nothing, which is slavery. There is no excuse. The only excuse is that your government does it, and so you go like, my government commits genocide all the time. I don't sign off on it. Nothing I could do. Well, sure, there's something you can do. You can stop serving the oligarchs and the corporations. Corporations aren't even human. You can kill all the corporations in a bloodless coup. You don't have to chop anybody's heads off. You can't kill the oligarchs. The oligarchs got like necks that you'd have to like cut off. That's hard work. And they got people with guns defending their skinny little fucking necks. I don't have a little skinny fucking neck. I got a big thick neck. Anyway, my neck would still be easily chopped off. But you don't have to do that. You don't have to do it. You don't have to chop anybody's heads off. You only got to stop being a slave to them. Stop pretending that their money supply that they took and hoarded is something that you can somehow gain access to. You can't gain access to their money supply. How are you going to gain access to a money supply being hoarded by Chinese billionaires and Saudi Arabian billionaires and State Street and Vanguard and BlackRock? How exactly are you going to access those funds? By what means? None. You're they're playing Monopoly and you got moldy Cheetos. And we got a moldy Cheeto economy. But our moldy Cheetos don't buy their stuff. Our moldy Cheetos don't buy their consumer goods. So we're like left out in the cold as app slaves, as corporate slaves. Doesn't matter whether you, even if you have a wage job in the United States, you don't have a representative government, you're a slave. They don't have to pay you an amount that it actually takes for you to survive. Oregon's number one. We have the most homeless, we have the highest percentage of homeless families in the entire nation. Congratulations, Oregon. And we have the second highest percentage of population homeless in the entire nation. Congratulations, Oregon. You wonder why I was at odds with the city of Portland and the government of this dog shit state that I live in? Because they're a bunch of fucking hucksters. They're a bunch of poverty pimps, bunch of scumbags, bunch of corporate whores. It very much bothers me for whatever reason. I cannot add. I mean, I can't even see the chat. And well, I don't know why that is. Maybe when you add people or something, you can't, when you have it to the add guest screen, that you can't, for some reason, see the chat. And I do want to see that. So here's what I'm going to do. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to end the show. I feel like there's been enough show to have a show. Thank you to our friend Dashing Felon. Thank you to Pedro DoorDash Santiago for listening and considering talking to me later about saving humanity and being a hero instead of continually being a hate-filled, ego-bound dipshit. So that would be wonderful. Let's do that, Pedro. Let's talk. Let's talk sometime. I will probably, but not definitely, have a show later today. If Pedro wants to talk, I'll definitely have a show. Pedro could just put a chat, put a link in the chat or whatever. I might be on later tonight. I might not. That Glitch Dash Bastard might be on right now. Maybe I'll go watch some Glitch Dash Bastard. Who the fuck knows? But this has been fun. Good to get out of the basement studio and get out in the fresh air with you. Thanks, Dash and Felon. Thanks all our friends who showed up this morning, and boop, we'll see you again soon.